Melbourne Storm 30, New Zealand Warriors 26. Wasn't the result we expected. Wasn't the result we deserved. And it is what it is, but another loss. 15 consecutive in a row to Melbourne. Just a tough one to take. Hey guys, if you are here for the first time, welcome to wahsup TV. If you can give us a like and a subscribe for more New Zealand Warriors content, we'd appreciate that. Let's get into the intro here. First half, gonna go through step by step, pretty much just covering the key moments for me, and then we'll break down the takeaways from this. Look, first off, let's start from us. Melbourne really pushed the tempo and pushed the envelope, and our middles, to be honest, were out of sync. They were really struggled to get in tune. I think Tohu, Adam, Freddie Lussick especially kind of was poor in contact in a lot of areas. We were just all over the place, and I suppose you could probably equate that to maybe you could say maybe Tane not directing out from the back. You could, but I think it was just a poor start, just mentally not right there at the moment. And Melbourne, to their credit, just really threw it at us, really straight away got into it, and we struggled to kind of get ourselves together. And I think that was a part of the reason. If you look at that first try off the penalty, they went almost 80 meters and pretty much scored. It was that clinical, and it felt like, what the heck is happening? What is happening to our middles? They just couldn't get any control of the ruck, and it was credit to Harry Grant and the way they attacked us. Just the speed of the play the ball, we couldn't get ourselves get a grip on what was happening, and so you had that first try, but then we countered that when we came back and we scored our try. And you look at just how good it was. It was sort of just quick to play the balls and then hit the edges. Like, that's what I love about since being under Webby, and that there's no time wasted. Once we get the look that we want, it's the same thing. So it was nice to see that double block play where you go to the middle, then you hit Sean, you go too wide, you got the two lead runners, and you put the centre on that bind, and then you hit the out the back to Tane. I thought Tane did really well, just to be patient. Like I thought last week, he was just a bit rushed in his passing, and he just waited for Coates to come in, ran the space in, and then once Coates committed, he passed it off to Dallin. So I thought that was really good. Just nice to see our attack kind of back to where it needs to be, especially goal line attack. I thought that was really good. And then that kind of again swayed. We had a few knock-ons, a few errors, I think, and then the Pepe try. And I think just it's something to be aware of moving forward, is that was a nice set play. It's actually, if you look at it, Pappenhausen is kind of sitting behind that player, so it looks almost like it's going to be an out the back, but he's just trailing on the inside, and then it's the wide pass, pulling the centre away, and then Kate Wells got to fill that space, and just a great play. I love that type of play. I know it's a big Billy Slater type play. It's a really effective one if you've got a really, really fast fullback. But we've got to be better in those situations. We've got to cover that ground. Kate Wells just got caught on that half there, and then that swung around. And then likewise the Meany try to go 18-6 up. If you look at our system, and this is what we talked about with the Broncos last year, was that in that prelim we couldn't contain the tackle. And if you think of our defence, it's like a high trust model. So what we do is, when those three guys go into contact, they're almost required to seal and lock that ball up, because that next defender or the next set of defenders are sitting for the next wave. So if you can look back on the tape, you'll see I think Pappenhausen goes into contact with Metcalf, and I think might have been Ford and one other, and Adam is pulling across to the other side of the ruck. He's setting up to fill in that space for Ford or for Metcalf. So he's going the short side, and then you've got Kate Well, who's sitting that first, he's going back to that first defender spot, the A-gap defender. And then so once that offload happens, those guys are already turned, setting up for the next tackle. And then it's gung-ho from there, and it's just, that's what happened, exactly what happened against Brisbane. And especially with the speed that they have, and if you're just not playing eyes up, and if you don't wrap up, that's what's going to happen. I think there's not much that we can do to fix that. It's really required of those guys that go into contact to seal that ball up, because what our defensive model is we trust we have to go and set the next wave, and guys are really committed. If you look at our forward pack, they're all committed to work along any part of the defensive line. And so, like, you saw Adam tracking back to go on the short side, you saw Capewell filling in at that first A gap. So we've got to get our guys to seal up. That will continue to happen. I don't think there's any kind of solution for that. We just got to be better at what we're doing. So Metcalf, for example, when you get that first contact, you have to seal that tackler up. You have to seal him up. And it's happened to us a lot. So we really got to tighten up our edge defense in the contact. That's for me where we need to work on. And then what happened, it felt as though, man, the game was slipping away in typical Warriors fashion. You're thinking, oh no, we're going in for a hiding. But it kind of settled down after that try. I think our forwards kind of we started to get on top of them. Fatigue-wise, I felt that, I think Mitha went off, or Welch came on, and the impact, Welch wasn't major impact. I think we could kind of temper that. I think then Welch went off towards the end of the first half, and it kind of put Tui back on the field. So we almost had a leg up, because I don't think Welsh returned, so they lost an interchange player. But in that process, with Bunty coming on and Walker coming on, we actually kind of started to dominate that part of the game. And it's quite contrasting if you look at last week against Hazelton and Rudolph, where we lost the middle. We actually won the middle. So it's credit to our bench. They kind of finally, I think Webby kind of got finally what he was hoping for. I thought Bunty and Walker did a really good shift there, good 20 minutes, especially from Bunty either side of the half. We were solid in that period, and then we kind of got to where we got to the Montoya try, the no try. And for me, it's a beautiful play. It's almost like they're working the double block, the left side. We never saw that last year, so it's a different, a little wrinkle that they've added to their game. I like it because it does draw, because, I mean, RTS is a big drawing in factor. And then it's the tap on by Metcalf. You use Metcalf as that kind of what Tame would be on the right side. You use Metcalf on the left side of that link play. And for the first, when I look back at the tape, the little thing I noticed was Montoya was actually a little bit too far behind, or he wasn't running it. He stalled his run a little bit. He needed to actually run onto that and trust Metcalf, but he stalled his run a bit. He had to pull back a little bit to get the ball. And then the thing for me I've noticed with Montoya is he always carries in the right hand, even though he's a left-sided winger. He carries in the right hand. And for whatever reason, he usually does this, and he goes into contact, tries to bump the guy off and then score. And most times it has been working. But this time he got caught out. Now, I'm going to be Warriors biased here, but I looked at the tape and it looks like the bottom part of the ball did get over the line. So for me, it was probably a try, if you really microscopically look at it. But my concern with that is that, basic wing fundamentals is change it to the outside hand. If you want to bump off the guy, you can bump him off without the ball in the right hand. Keep it in your left outside shoulder. Bump him off with your right hand if you want to go into contact, and then bump out and score. You know what I mean? Bump or just go to the corner. So the little thing was he just held his run a little bit. He could have, if you look at Dallin, he just hits that. When he gets that type of a look, he runs to the corner. Montoya, the opposite, goes inside when I think he should have stayed going to the left hand and go for the corner, mate. Then use your shoulder if you need to. But that's fundamentals for me, but I'm not sure what's happening there. But that was critical. If I look back at that time, we needed that try to go into half. But surprisingly, we will go into the second half now. That kind of we just started to dominate the game. I feel the fatigue started to set in. Melbourne threw a big punch at us, and we just started to grind it out. And this is what I loved, and this is where I feel our season's just begun in that second half. I felt like we just got into our grinded out phase. Like I talked about last week, if you've watched the Off the Top, I just said we need to be patient, composure, and execution. Look at those kicks that Sean was putting on for Coates. Pinpoint accuracy, kick chase there, right on time. If you go back to the first half, Berry went up for the challenge and he got penalised for attacking Coates in the air. After that, he pretty much said, I'm staying on the ground. My job is to literally tackle him as he lands. And that was what they just did for the rest of the game. And it was a great strategy because it did give us an error off of it. And so, but I was really impressed with just grinding it out football. And we just started to dominate. Bunty and Walker in that period had some really good runs. We had some really good attacking shape. And I think that might have led to the Dallin try, where we sling it out. It's not that double block, but it's what they call tunnel ball, where you have Tane come in and he's kind of the decoy, and then what happened was, I think it was Coach jammed on Tane, or one of them, or maybe Remus Smith jammed on Tane, and it was a quick flick pass from Berry, and Berry did great to just tap that on. He almost lost it, and then he pulled it in, and then Dallin again, like I said, going for the corner there. And so really good job, really tidy finish. Really impressed with that. And that's what I'm talking about, getting into our attacking structure. When the time to pull the trigger is time to pull the trigger, we pulled the trigger. So I thought it was really, really good. And then so we go into that next part. Then we led to that forward try. The forward, I think that was a really good one. RTS just chased the ball up and down, and then we kind of reset, got ourselves sorted. Great try by Ford. I think that was the one, if I'm right. That was a good one. And then the next try, I forgot the try to Montoya. That was another one I thought. That was beautiful. That was the one off the Coates kick, I think, where Coates dropped it. Berry ran it towards the goalpost, and then they quickly flung it. Metcalf, great ball to Montoya there. That was awesome. That was just beautiful. Eyes up footy, pinpoint accuracy, landed right on the chest and go for the try. And that was when I felt like, man, we've really turned the tide here. I think that might have taken us to 24, 22. I can't really remember. But yes, that was great. And that's where I felt like we started to get on top of them. We really did well to just sort of turn the tide. And I give credit to Storm. They held as much as they could. I think, that Welch rotation, like losing Welch, would have maybe, helped them a little bit, but we really got on top. And then we kind of, once Bunty had done his job, we brought AFB on. Now there was an HIA, I think Tohu's one, and then there was HIA to Berry that kind of reshuffled the team, but we managed that really well. We did really well, kind of containing that period of time. So it was credit to the team. I thought we did really well. And we saw Ale come on, and I thought that was really effective. Like, I suppose that's why the interchange can be hit and miss at time, because depending on how the flow of the game is. I mean, we saw that we dominated the game, and so it activated Ale, should we say. So, that for me is kind of like, it was great to see that kind of in action, and what maybe Webby has in plan for Ale, and I thought he did a pretty good job. Then we got up to that point where we got the penalty, and we decided, do we want the 8-point lead, or it might have been the 6-point lead? I can't really remember, but it was like, should we have taken the try there? 8 points away to the Storm sounds okay to me, but could they have gone for the jugular? Possibly. Hard to know. It's all 2020 on hindsight now, but anyway, I thought that was pretty, it was good to go up to 8 points, but now you're looking back, maybe, could we have gone? Who knows? Anyway, we get into that last period of the game where I felt as though like we'd got them. We cracked them. We're going to win this. CHT comes on, and it looks like, we're just going to grind this one out. And then it just fell away. We got caught by Pepe on that play again on the other side this time to Ford, just getting caught out. And I think Melbourne, to their credit, obviously playing catch-up footy, and they just started swinging it left to right, and it kind of really started to work for them. It started to break us down. They started to get a bit more momentum in their sets. Before they were struggling to get out of their own end, and then they just shifted it wide. And again, another good use of that early in the first half. They used it, hit wide on the edges, and then you get a quick play the ball off of a Berry. Like, they make the tackle, Berry and Roger, but it's a quick play the ball because it's not a dominant controlled tackle, and that will slingshot the rest of your kind of set. And similar thing when they were flicking the ball out wide, it started just to open up things for them. Tyron Wishart, in a really subtle way, kind of picked their energy up. I thought he did a good job, kind of just sort of momentum plays, and it gave them enough energy to where they got the Pappenhausen try. And then it led to the Barnett knockdown. Yeah, you could probably say, reflection, that Barnett maybe should have just held out there. Didn't need to fully commit to the charge down. It led to a sequence, of events that just, I think, percentages and probability-wise, what was probably maybe less than maybe 5% they'd win that game off of that situation. But It happened. It happened. You could probably track it back. There was one, 10 minutes to go, I think. There was a pass to Metcalf. He knocked it on from Walker, trying to play out the back. Yeah, that was just, I think for me, we just needed to settle and get into the grind and get down that end, get to our kick chase and that type of thing. And then the RTS knock on. Yeah, they were a little bit influential. They changed the momentum of the game. If you think RTS doesn't knock on, then maybe we go and score. Good pinpoint kick down their end, and we just play in that grind out mode. Yeah, I just think far out. Upon reflection, yeah, sure, but I think that was just a freakish end to a game where Melbourne just pretty much got away with it. They found a way, but that's why you play the game. It's 80 minutes. That last try. Maybe Dallin could have gone off his read and closed out Coates a bit more. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. So for me, it's kind of credit to Melbourne. Credit to them. Played through. We need to be a bit mentally stronger. We need to be able to manage those situations better. That's my view anyway. Okay, so just going over some key takeaways. Total opposite first 20 to last week. We got dominated. We got pushed around. Our contact wasn't the greatest. In the tackle, we got beaten out. So that was kind of not what I expected. But I suppose with Egan and that out, you do miss a bit of that ruck manipulation early on. But I thought, if you're touching on Freddie Lussick, I thought he played a great game. I thought he did a reasonable job. Yeah, probably in the early parts of the game, his contact was poor. You could see he just wasn't able to kind of... Those 3-man tackles that our team were doing, we weren't dominating them. And we were struggling to put them to ground. But then over time, I think Freddie picked up, actually. And we started to get into the game. Now, I said interchange last week was important. We needed to have a better interchange. They needed to make impact, and they surely did. I think we balanced out their bench a lot better, and we got on top of them. And credit to Bunty, I thought he played a massive game for the role that he did. He ran hard. He got some little semi-line breaks. He kind of poked his nose through. Tackle was great. Tackle efficiency was bang on. I thought he was really good. Walker again, just really good around the ruck. The tempo which he plays, the leg speed and the speed and tempo he plays with. It's just so awesome, and he's just so great. Played out on the centres, played, he plays wherever we need him, whatever role and capacity we need. So I thought he was really good. Attack, I talked about precision and execution. I think we kind of got a glimpse of we're back to our attack and where it needs to be. We were patient. We pulled the trigger at the right times. And Sean actually more involvement with the left side, which I think is great. And I think Metcalf played his hand pretty well. I think we can still work on that. I think Capewell's line is getting better. He's slowly figuring out what he needs to do and how he works with Sean. Tap-ons by Berry was great. Tane, I thought, again, Tane's link played just a few moments where he missed a pass from AFB. There's a few other ones where he's just not in the right spot, but hopefully we continue to iron that out while CNK is out. While we're talking about Tane, I thought this kid is getting such a hard rap from everyone. Because we're losing games, we're looking for someone to blame. Yeah, maybe defensively, you could say maybe not getting guys in the right places. That's for sure, yeah. But in his responsibilities in terms of returning the ball, he had some really good little runs, sniping runs, fourth tackle runs, trying to pick up the speed of the set. Yeah, some nice link play. I think he's improving. But he doesn't lack confidence. I mean, that one high ball and he ran into it and he kind of got that break. I think it was at the end of the first half. He did knock it on, but I love that confidence from the young boy, man. And I think some more game time for him, he'll get even better. So, no, happy with Tane. Freddie, going back to Freddie, about to re-sign for the club, or has re-signed. I think that's a good move by the club. I think he will be a good signing. There were some moments I saw some of his passing skills. He was pulling one side of the ruck, passing the other way. I was thinking, oh, he might have something here. We might have something here in a few years' time. I love that he can play high minutes, high volume, 70. He could have probably played 80. I thought he was very, very good. Took a little while to settle in, but I'm happy with what he was doing. You can see we missed that ruck work around the ruck. There was one set where I think he had one guy at marker, and I was thinking, and he passed it straight off the first receiver, and I was thinking, mate, you could have worked the ruck there and had someone come back in behind and, you know, do the stuff that Egan does. But he's not there right now. But, you know, over time, I'm sure he will be. But I'm happy with a guy that knows his skill set, and the team knows it, and they're working around him. So it was a much better shape. I was big on getting support around him. I think the team actually started to support him a lot more. I think they kind of got their shape sorted. He was able to hit the target men where they needed to and just be serviceable. But yeah, I think there's space for him to grow. Walker, for me, again, his impact off the bench, he can play anywhere, is just his play style again. One of the best buys for me, still showing that he's that quality. SJ, I thought he did really great, man. I thought Sean, when we were struggling, especially in the start of the game, he was there to try and do the 1%ers. He could see the boys were struggling in the tackle. He was making some big tackles, like controlling tackles. He's very strong. I mean, if you're looking at Metcalf, you want to try and be like Sean in terms of control the tackle, win the tackles, you know, and be stronger in contact. I thought Sean was really good there. RTS finally got a glimpse of what we wanted. That break against Meany, I thought was beautiful. The go up for the try on the catch that he made, and then the pass to Ford, I thought was great. Defensively pretty sound. I think he could have probably tackled Meany. I don't know why he went for the ankle tap. He probably could have tackled him there. He had the speed, he had him. Yeah, an error, a few things to be mindful of. I think he's just still at the beginning of his journey in the centre role. I think it's still early days. But no, I think it's just his time will come. He didn't get many, you know, to Melbourne's credit, they didn't give him much space. He carries out of yardage weren't huge, but he didn't get frustrated by that. I know he's going to come with time. He'll get into his flow and everyone around him. Berry, man, massive game. I love this kid's confidence. I love him growing into his role. Again, tackles, just amazingly good tackles. That pass that I said to Dallin was great. Pulled that in, got it out. Then he's taking on the outside of Remus, and Remus is good. I mean, he's covers well, but you know, he got on the outside of Remus, did really well there, and then also, yeah, just those extras, man. And then there was one play where towards the end of the game, and he was out, and he was looking for Dallin on the outside, and Dallin wasn't there. And while he was getting tackled, he's yelling at Dallin like, "Mate, where are you, man? What the hell are you doing?" I love that. That's what I want to see. And then Dallin like stretches his hamstrings like, "Oh no, man, my hammies are blown." But Barry was really angry at him, you know. And that's what I want to see. I want to see a kid with confidence like that say, tell these guys that are more experienced, "Hey man, where are you, bro? I'm doing my job. Where are you?" But no, massive game from him. Good carries as well. I think he's coming along really well. I love his energy, and for me, it's confidence, and he's growing in confidence. Ford, a much cleaner game. No errors from what I could see. Again, we're seeing value in what Ford and Cape Rob 80-minute back rowers can do for you, and it's kind of, you know, it's freeing up our interchange a bit more, and hopefully we get to see better things. But like to see those clean up. Ali, I thought was great, that timing. I suppose that's what I'm saying. We probably could have seen him earlier. If we had had the time, we probably could have seen him in the Sharks game, but the game was kind of in a different phase at that time, and we couldn't activate him. But we saw what we can do when we activated him. He did a good shift there of 15-20 minutes, and it just kind of kept the momentum going and kept us on top. So, and CHT, yeah, you can see some potential there that he could be that backup hooker at some stage. He can be that interchange kind of Sirinen, what Sirinen was doing. He's definitely got the potential there. Would like to see more of that. Metcalf, yeah, I thought he was pretty good. And just some contact areas, I think he was just a little bit poor, but overall pretty happy with Metcalf. There's all the really people think. I thought the forwards were good. In the end, we got there. AFB, Tohu, we kind of settled into the game. Barnett again. Just a shame how it ended, but my key takeaway from this one was that I felt like that second half, at least our season started. We're into our season now. Our boys are where they need to be, and we're on track. We're on track to go. We're ready to go, and I think we're going to go and do well from here on out. Yeah, the ending was poor. Credit to Storm. I don't want to take anything away from them. They were great. But if you looked at that second half, 20 unanswered points, we'd pretty much come back and we dominated, and we'd shown that we are a top class team. We had them in the bag. We should have put them away. Probably a few things we could have done better to close that game out. Hopefully the boys review it, but don't sit on it too much, because for 35 minutes of that second half, we were the dominant team, and we actually kind of really showed that we are class. So don't sit on it, boys, and reflect, but move on and just keep improving and keep adding to it. So yeah, thanks for that's my review of the game, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have, like and subscribe. But we'll be back for another off the top preview once the team lists come out for, I think it's the Warriors versus the Raiders at Apollo Projects in Christchurch. But thank you again for your support. We'll catch you later. Peace.